What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about everything we know about Mafia 4. What's going on with it? Are we going to get it? I know people will maybe say, you look way too much into the future. I get Mafia Definitive Edition literally released yesterday. I know that is true. I've been playing the game. I am going to have videos on Mafia. I don't think I'm just skipping this game. You know, I talked about how I was going to have like a series with this stuff. I am going to have more videos. I'll be reviewing it. I'll be talking about some different things in this game. But for now, I want to talk about the future. Just tends to be something I do. Really quickly, before I jump in, if you guys are not already subscribed, a lot of people that watch my videos are not actually subscribed to me. Red button right underneath the video. Click that. If you find out that you don't agree with my opinion or something like that later on, you can always unsubscribe. While you're at it, I have all of my social medias and stuff in the description. My Twitter, Podcast Now 15, our Discord server, if you guys haven't joined, and also my second channel, Podcast Now Plus. So all of that's in the description. Would be really awesome if you guys joined, followed, and did all of that good stuff. Okay, so let's talk about this. Now, I would like to think that I was, and I do actually think, that I was one of the only people talking about Mafia 4 leading into this announcement. When Mafia Trilogy was first announced, really to me it was, okay, they were either going to do a Mafia 4 or it was going to be some sort of remake, remaster, which remember, we heard a lot about 2, that they were going to just do 2, and it's like, well, they skipped 1, they're not doing 3, that kind of makes sense. Then we heard 2 and 3, and we were like, well, that's also odd, because why do you need to do a remaster for 3? It came out in 2015. And so, it's been actually quite a journey. Now, we've heard about Mafia 4 before. I do want to talk about that just a little bit, but it doesn't really matter, if that makes sense. So maybe I'm wasting my time, but we heard probably like a year and a half ago. In fact, I made videos on this channel. So actually, I've made Mafia content for quite some time. There were rumors that Mafia 4 would take place, I believe, in the 1970s in Las Vegas, that it would take place over a decade, and that you would see the world, and you as like an empire, like you would be building an empire, you would see those things evolve and grow and change in that 10-year period. Okay, there were a couple other smaller things, but that was, I would say, the biggest thing. Setting was Las Vegas, time period was the 70s, like all of the 70s, and you would see a change in the city in terms of its looks as the decade went on, as well as what was going on with you. Okay, now I believe those. I'll tell you that when that happened, I believe those rumors. I think it's kind of hard to discuss because I guess, well, here's cutting to the chase. The game is not actually being worked on. Okay, so when we talk about what do we actually know about Mafia 4, unless Hangar 13 is really good at lying, which gaming developers do all the time. And you do have to think about that. But unless they're lying and they're doing a really good job at it, Mafia 4 has not actually been working on. Okay, or they're not actually doing anything on it. So I don't know where those rumors came from. They seemed very legit. A lot of people were actually talking about it, which does maybe add credibility to maybe somebody else. Maybe it's not Hangar 13, but maybe it's somebody else. Those are all things to keep in mind. Okay, but maybe not necessarily really go into. The next thing is what Hangar 13 has told us. Actually, just a few weeks ago, I believe like a month or so ago, there was an interview and they were asked about Mafia 4, about what's the possibility look like. And so they said that they would absolutely make a new Mafia game as long as this game does well. So, I mean, oftentimes when you look at sequels, well, obviously a sequel can be made pretty much only if the original did really good. I would say for gaming, that is more true. Movies tend to, especially if things bomb or something, or maybe like a director, they can maybe, the director will keep getting work, or the writer will keep getting work. For games, a bad product could result in you being fired, the company shutting down, or the development team shutting down, a sequel that was maybe planned just not happening. So it is a lot more prevalent in games, way more. So for Mafia 4 to work, they said, or to make Mafia 4, Mafia Definitive Edition needs to do well in sales. Now, I don't know what number they're looking for, right? We can only imagine. I really hope that it does. You guys know me, especially if you guys have watched my Mafia content over the last year plus. I really do want a 4th Mafia. It really stems from, I want a game built from the ground, a Mafia game built for the ground up for right now. While Mafia 1 is probably as close as we're going to get, at least for right now, one of the main weaknesses of it is people say, there's still some age there, whether it be from the gameplay, whether it be from the design of certain missions, and that's fine, and you can have disagreements with that. You can agree with that. I personally don't really care because I understand what a remake actually is, right? Some people get a little too mad, but no matter what, I want a game that's built for right now. I don't think that's the worst thing in the world to say. Now, here's the deal. We know Hangar 13, they've said in the past, in fact, they've said, I believe, well, there were rumors before the trilogy, Mafia trilogy, was even announced that they were working on a brand new game, a brand new IP. Okay? When Mafia Trilogy happened, those rumors, I feel like, died down a little bit, and then they picked back up where, yeah, they are made. In fact, I believe they even admitted that in the interview, where it's like they do, whether it's a second team at the same time, which honestly I do believe is the case, they may have a second team working on just a brand new game from the ground up, which, I mean, by the way, that is kind of cool. Like, you know, Mafia is what they're known for, and honestly, even with Hangar 13, they may not be the most, like, praised for, right, because of Mafia 3, all that kind of stuff, but, you know, if anybody's good, this is kind of what I'm trying to drive home. We could believe those Las Vegas rumors, and we could believe that Mafia 4 is being developed by somebody else. But just by the way everybody talks about it, even if, like, and so even going like with that, then why would Hangar 13 basically give like a maybe answer for Mafia 4? Do you know what I mean? It does definitely hurt the overall conversation of if you still believe, which by the way, like for a while, I still did believe, even when Mafia Trilogy was announced, I believe that they were doing that to get people ready for Mafia 4, and they were making that in the background. Could they be? Could that be what the second team is working on, and it's not actually a new IP? Yeah, they could be lying to us. But the way they answered questions as to a Mafia 4, like, would you make one? Yeah, we would. Actually, we're very passionate. We want to make one, but this game needs to do good first, and then we would do it. Like, you don't really answer it like that if A, you have already started, B, if your other team has started, and C, another studio in general has started, because they're all under Take-Two. Okay, they are 2K, you know, there's actually multiple levels to that, but that is all under one roof. So nobody outside of that realm is going to make a Mafia game. You know what I mean? And so it's going to be somebody in the realm of Take-Two, in which case I would assume Hangar 13 would know. You know what I mean? Like if an Uncharted game is being made right now in Sony, it's got to, whether it would either have to be a Sony first-party studio, or Sony would have to have made a deal with another, you know, a studio outside of their thing and saying, hey, we'll pay, you know, all this different stuff. You can make an Uncharted game. But don't you think Naughty Dog would know about that? You know, I mean, they may not say that they know about it, but you got to imagine that they would know. There would maybe be some talks there, because ultimately, maybe you would want to get their opinion on something. How would you do this? You got any ideas for that? I mean, there's a lot of communication, especially when you're all under the same roof. So for Sony first-party studios, so like Hangar 13, if it's somebody else in that realm, they would talk to them. They would I mean, that's just how the gaming industry works. So again, could they be good liars? Yeah, they could be good liars, but I just feel like if it was made in the same realm, there would be communication. They would have probably answered that question a little bit differently. Maybe they just would have said, we don't want to answer that question. You know what I mean? So the way they answered it, to me, comes off as the game is not yet in development. That does suck, because someone like me who, you know, I'm not the biggest Mafia, like as we've gotten over the past couple years, I have gotten way, way more into the franchise. But if you would have asked me about a year and a half, 2 years ago, I mean, I wasn't, you know, again, I've played Mafia 3. I didn't like it very much. You know, obviously I played Mafia 2 when that came out a few months ago, the remaster. I liked it. I thought the remaster was bad, but I liked the base game. And now here we are with Mafia. It's a situation where this is kind of like that thing that I wanted, like a new Mafia experience for me, and we're getting it. And now it's like, well, I really want a Mafia 4, and you know, I get it. Everybody has to wait for games to be made, so I'm not saying like, oh, give me the game tomorrow. But it's maybe not even a situation like that. They may not even have it. You know, if it's just starting right now, say the game sells 3, 4, 5 million copies, and they say that's good enough, we'll greenlight Mafia 4. If they just start it right now, the game could take 3, 4, 5 years. You know what I mean? So we have a long amount of waiting to do until then, unless, again, something in the background is happening, unless their second studio is doing something, unless some other random studio is making it. But that's pretty much all we know on Mafia 4. Kind of a little annoying that, like, all we know is pretty much that the game isn't actually being developed right now, or at least, again, that's what everybody's kind of saying. But those rumors about Las Vegas early on were very, very, to me, like, grabbing. I really did believe them. If you still want to believe them, you still want to believe that they had to have come from somewhere, I would not stop you. In fact, I'm a big believer in believing in there's random leaks or rumors or wanting a project to exist out of thin air. It's worked really well for Gotham Knights. It's worked really well for Hogwarts Legacy. It's probably going to work well for like Silent Hill and games like that. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with thinking it for Mafia 4, okay? Let me know in the comments below, guys. What do you think? Do you think Mafia 4 is in development? Do you think Hangar 13 will do it? What do you want from a Mafia 4? I could always make videos on that as well. Let me know. More Mafia content coming over the next couple days. I will be doing a review. We'll talk about a couple different stuff on this game. So again, make sure you're subscribed, bell icon, my second channel, Discord, Twitter, all of that stuff. Make sure you guys are following me there, joining me, subscribing to the second channel, because we'll have other things. If you guys want me to talk more about Mafia 4, I'm sure that'll be a game topic that I revisit every so often, okay? Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all on the next video.